and was so humble, would not even lift up his eyes. Yes, and but he smote upon his breast. And when he prayed, he did not go to any long creative dialogue. Oh Lord, he did not use poetic soliloquy, saying, Lord, thou art the one who flung the stars out into space, and they are dancing on the heavens like diamonds on black velvet. Yeah, but when you're in trouble, you ain't got time for creative dialogue and poetic soliloquy. Oh Lord, when you need a breakthrough in your life, you ain't got time to be cute and be fancy. Look at this guy. He said to God, Lord, have mercy. Shake somebody's hand this morning and tell him, neighbor, that's all you gotta tell him. Yeah, when you go to God, you ain't got to have a big vocabulary. You ain't got to know Greek and Hebrew. But if you bow down, Lord, on bended knees, if you humble yourself just like a child and say to the Lord, I know I've done wrong. Do I have a praying crowd? I know I've sinned and come short of your glory. I know that I've been a bad boy. I ain't gonna try to explain myself. I'm not gonna try to wiggle my way out of what I'm in. But if you bow down, yeah, and say, Lord, have mercy. Do I have any witnesses here that know that the Lord will hear your prayer? Shake somebody's hand and shake it like a child of God and tell them, neighbor, if you go to God and go to God right, he will answer your prayer. Won't he do it? I got to leave you alone. Won't he do it? Do I have about 50 folk that know he will? Have you ever bowed down just like a child and you talk to the Lord? Won't he come? I said, won't he come? I said, won't he come? Y'all act like he won't come. I said, won't he come and see about his child? He said, Lord, have mercy. And you know what the Lord said? Justified. Ain't God all right? And that word justified is a legal term. It means the same as being acquitted. Do I have a witness? And to be acquitted means that you go to trial. And when you go to trial, the judge says you're not guilty, you are acquitted, and you are justified. Ain't God all right? You know everybody is going to one day have to stand trial. Come on and walk with me now into my trial. I'm going to have to stand before my judge. And in my trial, I am the defendant. Do you have an answer? And I have an attorney, and then there is a prosecuting attorney, and then there is a judge. Did you hear me? Well, the judge says to the prosecutor, come on, Mr. Prosecutor, and I want you to prosecute this case. Y'all know who the prosecutor is, don't you? That's the devil, because the Bible said that he stands always before the Father making accusations. And I hear that prosecuting devil saying, Lord, old McFarland is standing right here. He ought to go to hell. He's been a bad boy. He lies sometime. He says some things that he should not say. He goes some places that he should not go. He ought to go to hell. You ought to send him right now. Did you hear what I'm saying? But after, let me hear you shout, after the prosecutor gets through, I got my lawyer, I got my attorney, because the Bible says that Jesus is my advocate. He goes between me and God. I'm about to bust a gut up in here. Oh, Lord. And when my attorney stands up before the judge, he says, it's my time now. Yeah. He says, Judge, I heard the prosecutor's case, and he had a good case. He said that McFarland was a bad boy. Judge, he's right. He said that McFarland said some stuff that he should not have said. Judge, he's right. He said, oh, Mac went to some places that he should not have gone. Judge, he's right. But I got one more piece of evidence that I want to admit in this case. I got the blood. Here's the blood. I see the blood in his life. One Thursday evening, McFarland bowed down on his knees and said, Lord, have mercy. You don't have me, and I've already paid the price. Shake somebody's hand and say, neighbor, thank God that he paid the price. I ought to go to hell. I ought to be dead now. But I bowed down on bending knees and I told the Lord, and he said, justified. Give somebody a high five and tell them, neighbor, I'm justified. Hey, I'm justified. Is there anybody here glad that you are justified? Is there anybody here glad that he paid the price? But can I tell you one more thing? I told you about my trial, and I told you who the defendant was. That's me. And I told you who the prosecutor was. That's the devil. And I told you who my attorney was. That's Jesus. But I forgot to tell you who the judge is. The judge is my lawyer's daddy. And no daddy is gonna go against his son. Shake your neighbor's hand and tell him, neighbor, it's been